Hey everybody, it's time for another game pickup video and maybe a bit more than just solely the pickups. There are some other topics that I do want to share and talk about, games that I've been playing recently. Also, a vacation just started for me, 2 weeks. Looking forward to that, but I know that those 2 weeks will definitely fly by. One of the things that I really need to do though is clean up my desk. It's a mess over here, really a big mess, but that's also because there are just maybe too many games laying on my desk here. They are not just all game pickups, but we're going to start with the game pickups. The focus is mostly PlayStation 2, but there are some other games that I do want to highlight that I picked up recently and have not shown yet. So there's a lot. So yeah, we're going to start with the PlayStation 2 games because I got a nice stack over here. That's the thumbnail. But yeah, some PlayStation 2 games, but there are other games that I do want to show. But for these games, I recorded some gameplay footage. And for the other games, we will just show them kind of quickly. Some quick game pickups. Because yeah, recording like gameplay footage takes time. And I actually want to start programming or do some programming today. Looking forward to it. Have a cup of tea and just type away and encounter bugs and fix bugs, and at the end of the day you have only made one little thing and it kind of works. That is what I want to do on my Saturday. But yeah, I got a nice stack of PlayStation 2 games. These are games that I really wanted to pick up, and one of them kind of wanted to pick up because I was just kind of curious about it. And there's even one game that I sold, but yeah, didn't really have to, but could pick it up again for a low price, and kind of wanted to have it in my collection again. So yeah, we're going to talk about that. A funny thing though is, it is very Capcom focused. 3 from the 5 games that are in the stack are all from Capcom. So it just so happened to be, but that kind of made me think about what I still need to do this, but what are all the Capcom games released on the PlayStation 2? And is that or could that be a nice sub collection? But mostly kind of want to figure out, like, do I have like most of the Capcom games? I don't know. But again, I have not made a list. I've not made a list this time. It's shocking. I know. But yeah, got lots to talk about, so let's just get started with the game pickups. And yeah, the first game that I want to talk about is Cold Fear. Now, this one has been on my list for quite a while. It has been on my survival horror or horror type of games for the PlayStation 2 that I do want to check out and pick up. I never had a chance to actually play Cold Fear. It's not that expensive of a title, around like 20 or 25. That's the price that I see mostly, like euros. And yeah, like I said, it's not a game that I ever played. It came out around the time of like Resident Evil 4, maybe even a little bit before that. I'm not too sure about that though. But it's a title that I often ignored, but I saw mentioned like in a couple of videos. And yeah, it was not a game that I was actively searching for, because it does seem interesting, but there are also a couple of things that kind of stand out to me that I'm not too sure if it is actually fun to play. But again, I am interested in it though, because it also tries to do a couple of things that are somewhat fascinating. But I believe those things are also making it so that it might not be that fun to play. But anyway, I just played it this morning for like half an hour and recorded like a couple of minutes of footage of it. It was very difficult to record some footage. And this ties into the gameplay or the thing that they try to do with this game that makes it either fun or not fun at all. It's kind of up to you. Let me go into detail what is happening. Cold Fear is kind of cool because the setting, it all plays out on a ship. There's some hey, something is happening, and we are trying to figure out what is happening. But listen, it's zombies, and yeah, the playstyle is very similar to kind of like a traditional Resident Evil, and then it's somewhat in between like an original Resident Evil or the traditional one and Resident Evil 4. But yeah, it playing because the setting is on a ship. They really try to do and evoke that feeling like there's a storm going on, and like the ship is moving, but that also means like the camera is moving around, and there's just a ton of stuff going around or going on. And while playing it from the first couple minutes or so, and maybe that's due to the fact that it's early in the morning, I don't have this issue that quick normally, but I got kind of sick or motion sick from just all the stuff that was happening and because of the camera movement. And it was just very difficult to move around and see things. And from the outside, when you're in the outside of the ship, like it's really extreme. On the inside is less so. But yeah, because the camera is moving around like here and there, and with the controls, it was just kind of difficult to aim and to walk around. I do believe that's maybe yeah, something that you just have to get used to. But yeah, if the start is already that extreme, or at least it felt very extreme to me, I'm kind of curious if that is maybe just from the get-go, or something that happens in the beginning, like, hey, we're going to show like the storm going on and that you're in the ship, but later on maybe it cools down a little bit and they don't do it that drastically. But I'm not too sure. Again, never played it, so can only talk about my first impression. I like the visual style though, and what they are trying to do. Yeah, so I'm kind of curious like how that evolves, or how that continues like later on throughout the game. I have to say though that it was kind of difficult to see everything on the outside with the storm and with the camera movement. I did not play it on the CRT, so I'm kind of curious like if the experience is somewhat the same. I'm mentioning that because of how I capture like with OBS on the PC. It always seems a little bit grainy, and I only saw like a small window, so I'm not sure like how much that actually impacts like the game. But yeah, anyway, it is one of those horror type of games that I kind of wanted to check out and wanted to add to my PlayStation 2 horror game collection. So yeah, very happy that I was able to pick it up. And yeah, I picked it up from CEX. Never seen it in stock in the last year or so, so it kind of finally popped up, and yeah, there it was, and kind of jumped on it. I was quick with purchasing it. I used a voucher, and maybe the end price was around like 15 or 18 or so. And yeah, very happy with what I got though, because yeah, the condition is very good. It is in a pristine state. The disc is also good as well, or at least like decent enough. But yeah, very happy with Cold Fear. And yeah, I just really need to check it out on the TV and play a bit more of it. I don't know, sometimes the PlayStation 2 controller and with aiming, it's very easy to overshoot. Anyway, that was Cold Fear. Another game that I picked up, and yeah, this is a Capcom game, and it actually has a few Capcom games because it's a Capcom Classics collection. And this was available at my local CEX. I saw it a while ago, always ignored it because I don't know what it is. Like, I'm not a huge fan of like collections. But with this one, because I started to think about like, hey, what are all the Capcom games? And I saw this one over there, had a voucher. The state was, or yeah, the condition is very good. So I just decided, let's just pick it up and actually see if it is fun to play. Like it has the manual. Oh, it has the manual, and it looks, yeah, pretty good. Even the insert. So, yeah, really wanted to pick this one up at the end, because yeah, it was available at my local CEX, so I did not have to pay any postage. It was around like 15 or 18 as well, and again, I had a voucher. But lately, I've been maybe changed my mindset a little bit more about these sort of compilations, and it is a very specific and maybe an odd reason, because I was thinking, well, it's PlayStation 2 and I'm actually able to play them on a CRT, so that kind of makes it more feel like an arcade experience, instead of like playing it on a big screen like an OLED, and where it doesn't look as crisp as you kind of want it to be. If that makes any sense. So yeah, I just wanted to pick it up and kind of experience it playing it on the CRT. And there are actually some cool games on this compilation, or this collection. This is volume 1. There's the second one, but I don't see that second volume that often. But yeah, I think you can see it on the video here which games are on there, but I will list a few that kind of made me like, oh, I do want to pick this one up and check it out. Yeah, because it has like Bionic Commando, but I like the NES version probably a little bit more. Gunsmoke, though, really wanted to check that one out. It's the arcade version. I really like the NES version. I do have that one. It has ghouls, ghosts and goblins, and ghouls and ghosts. I think those are both like the arcade versions, but I really like those type of games. Difficult as hell, though. Do I like the NES version more? No. I do appreciate the NES version, but if I like it, I don't know. Oh, there's even Legendary Wings. That is also like an NES game, but this is an arcade, the arcade version. But yeah, it also has like Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter 2 Championship Edition, and Hyper Fighting, and also Super Ghouls and Ghosts. But I also do have that one. But yeah, just kind of wanted to check out like the arcade versions and see how they play. And yeah, it's a Capcom Classics, and yeah, I think next year I'm on the lookout for the Volume 2. I think the price is around the same. Maybe that one is a little bit more expensive, around like 20 or 25 or so. But yeah, in the end, it's kind of cool. It's a cool collection. And yeah, it's a cool collection. A lot of games. Ooh. And that's the one thing that I like. I like games. So. And yeah, the next game is a game that I never owned. It's another Capcom game. But no. I'm gonna start with another game, because this is gonna make more sense. Because this is a game that I actually owned in my collection, but sold maybe 2 years or so ago, because I never really played it a ton. It's a Capcom game. I think I never played it because it's a very difficult game. And yeah, I think when I owned this, I had a decent upscaler, but it was never fun to play like a PlayStation 2 game on a OLED screen. And at the time I did not have a TV, but now I kind of wanted to experience it again while playing it on the TV. And it's Maximo Army of Zin, Capcom. But yeah, this one is also in a very good condition. I saw it pop up at CEX and I had a voucher. So in the end, I don't know what I paid. Maybe the price was 20 and so 23 with shipping. But the voucher, I think I was able to get like a voucher for a game that I paid less for. So in the end, I paid less for this than the 23. If that makes sense. It was a very good deal. In short, it was a very good deal. But yeah, Maximo Army of Sin, it's actually pretty cool. I have always liked the look of this one, but again, it's very difficult because it's very similar to like a Ghost and Goblins or Ghouls and Ghosts. It plays also, or to me, it reminds me a lot about Medieval on the PlayStation 1. Just how it plays and like the movement. It's somewhat platformy, but really like linear. But yeah, I like it. I'm glad it's back again in the collection, and again, it was around like 23, and I think when I sold my copy was in a better state, but can't complain because this one is complete and the manual actually looks pretty good. I think I sold my copy back then for more than what I paid for this one. So yeah, that is Maximo versus Army of Sin. But there's another one that I never owned, and that is Maximo. And this one actually has a subtitle, but not on the box though. But it has a subtitle. I can't remember. Ghost of Glory? Maybe something like that? Does it actually say on the back of the box? No. This one also popped up on CEX, so I jumped on it. Also used a voucher in a very good state. Was very lucky with the CEX pickups in the last 2 weeks or so. Everything that arrived from the PlayStation 2 was in a good state. And it's always such a gamble with CEX. But lately, I've been lucky. I'm hitting my desk. Like, don't want to jinx myself now. Do I have any orders open that I need to send out? Yeah, maybe a couple. But Maximo, I kind of wanted to go on the challenges for CX, but I will do that after this one. A small break before I show the big hitter. But yeah, Maximo, never played this one, never owned this one. It plays very similar to the other one, but this one has a fixed camera, and that's kind of what stood out to me while I play tested it this morning, because in the second one you are actually able to move around the camera to a certain extent, but this one is very fixed with the cam, so you can move around. And yeah, that kind of offers like a unique gameplay experience. But yeah, it really feels like a Ghouls and Ghosts. Maybe that is why I wanted to pick them up again and experience them and play them on the TV. But yeah, very happy with these two. So my Maximo sub collection is now complete. But yeah, it's another Capcom game. Kinda happened unexpected, but also I think in the back of my mind I'm sort of on the lookout just for Capcom games and games that I wanted to check out. But I wanted to go on a small tangent with CEX. Very short. Very short though. Man, lately I've been lucky with PlayStation 2 orders. But what I also notice is that when I order sometimes I order something from CEX and they just don't send it out, it's super annoying. It becomes very frustrating, and don't want to go really that in depth, but it's always, I start to notice that it's always from the same store location, that they just don't send out the games, and I'm not sure what is up. A while ago I ordered, yeah, now I'm gonna go into detail though, because that is actually bumming me out. I ordered all 3 Project Zero games from CEX, 1, 2 and 3, for a very good price. Not sure why the price is so low for Project Zero on CEX. I ordered all 3 of them from the same location, all cancelled after 5 days. And I really ordered them once they were in stock, just like maybe a minute later. But this week, I think the same thing is happening again. We will see next week if it's actually true. Like if it's not true, like I'm gonna go back to this topic. But I saw, it's actually in stock at that location, and I already felt like they are probably not going to send it out. And so far, after 2 days, it has not been sent out yet. Maybe it is busy because, Christmas is nearing. But I'm not hopeful for that. But yeah, I don't know what is up. It's sometimes, and maybe that is why people call it like the CEX lottery. Sometimes you're extremely lucky with the pickups from there, but sometimes it's just annoying. And I don't mind it if they don't ship it out, but if it's sold, just cancel the order. Don't let me wait. Don't let me email like the customer service again. They are really helpful in cases like this, but it's just annoying when you have to wait like 5 days again for like your money back again. Apologies for the sidetrack, in between like the game pickups. Won't do it again. Well, this is the highlight, and actually forgot to well, kind of forgot to pick up a game. Give me a second because I will pick up the game. I'm gonna pause it right here and we'll be back because it's very important that I actually get this game. I'm somewhat kidding that this is the highlight, but it has become a highlight, and I'm just really happy that they are now part of the collection because no way that I actually wanted to purchase these for the price that they go for these days. The game that I'm gonna show, it is the Dutch version, so the price is not that high as the UK version, and it's gonna make sense. The game, what I actually had to pick up to show as well. It's gonna make sense. But yeah, it's Knorretje, Kleine Grote Held. This is the Piglet's Big Game, but this is the PlayStation 2 version, and yeah, this one, has been talked about like in the last couple of months or so. That's just because of a couple of videos online that kind of highlighted like the soundtrack, and that is very similar to like Silent Hill 2, and it is somewhat of a perfect storm because the Silent Hill 2 remake came out. People are maybe a little bit more focused on that, hyped about it, and then suddenly people talk about this and it being a horror game. Well, it is not. It is an odd game though. It is somewhat fascinating, but don't expect like a survival horror game. But because of all that stuff and that hype, or yeah, could you describe it as a hype? Just because of all the nonsense that's going around, the price has gone up for this one by a lot. This is the Dutch version, and what is important to know though is of course the condition. It is in a pristine state, and very happy about that. No, the whole game is in Dutch. In most cases, you would expect it being like multi-language, and that you can select the language. This one is solely in Dutch. You can't select like English or a different type of language from the menu. You can change like the language as well if you change like the system settings from the PlayStation 2. And yeah, that's kind of good to know if you are on the lookout for this one and you don't want to play it in Dutch. Be sure about that, or be sure to check that out because it's not a multi-language version. And that is the reason why I said, well, this is probably not that expensive though, because I'm gonna assume not a ton of people are looking for the Dutch version. It is funny to check out though. But yeah, once I saw one of those videos pop up, I immediately started to look around like 2 months or so ago for this game, and I already noticed that it was very difficult to find like a version online to purchase for like a decent price. But I found one online, like hidden on a website for like €7, and I decided let's just pick this one up. Before or at the time, I did not know like, oh, there's no English language option like available, but that version did not have like the manual, and I do have a manual right now, so very happy about that, because I was able to pick up another version at a game convention a couple weeks or so ago for like €5. And even then, the seller even said like, "Hey, are you picking this up because of the video?" And I'm like, "Yeah," but I was just mostly looking for the manual because kind of wanted to have it complete. But it's such a stupid thing, man. It is fascinating, like how something like that goes, how quickly something like that spreads, and how it changes like the price for such a game. Because at the moment, on price charting, like the PlayStation 2 version, the PAL version is around like €50. I think the NTSC version is around the same. But I'm gonna say like, hey, the Dutch version is definitely cheaper because I think most people prefer like the English version. So yeah, happy that I have it because I kind of want to check it out, and it looks nice though. It looks nice. Besides like it being in Dutch, the graphical style and what they try to do in the game, like there's nothing that makes it stand out as it being like, oh, a kids game. Like it seems well polished, like a good production, and it looks like a quality type of game. If it's your thing, like, you will probably enjoy it a ton. Don't expect a horror game. It's just a kids game about Piglet. But yeah, when I saw the video, I noticed the PlayStation 2 version because I picked that one up, and I was thinking, well, I kind of need it for the GameCube as well, but I was not able to find that one, sadly, at the time. So I decided, let's just pick up the PlayStation 2 version, and at least I own it that way, and maybe at some point I do see like the GameCube version. But luckily, I think I got very lucky with this one. That is often the case with game collecting. You get lucky and then you find it, because here's the GameCube version, Piglet's Big Game, and I'm lucky for a couple of reasons. I did not pay like the going price or for the price that it currently goes for, because I'm on price charting. It is around like 60 euros or so. I'm gonna say it is even a little bit higher than that. It was very difficult to track this one down. But I got lucky because I saw one copy available on Amazon .uk.co.uk, and it was from a external seller. So I think in the end I paid 15 euros for this one, including shipping, and that was it. It took a while for it to arrive, and I was really thinking like, it might not be like in a good state, like in a maybe no manual at all. But got lucky. There's a manual. It looks good. The disc, yeah, I think from my memory, like the disc looks okay. Yeah, okay-ish. It looks okay-ish. There's one downside though. I think there's a small crack like here in the center ring, which is somewhat worrying, and not a nice thing to see. But it works. You can play it, and I'm just happy that I own it now, and maybe at some point I do find like a loose disc. Highly unlikely. I'm not sure if the GameCube version is like multi-language though, because this one does say UK fee. I kind of need to research that one. But very happy that I was able to pick this one up for 15. Again, I only saw it like on the Amazon site and nowhere else. It was sold out at every store. Did not see it on like local online marketplaces for the Netherlands, and also did not see it on Vinted at all. Very happy with this one, because I do think like at some point I'm gonna go I'm not gonna go for like a full GameCube collection, but I always say like if I see a game for a decent price and I don't own it for the GameCube, I will purchase it. This kind of I was kind of worried like, oh, the dream is that if I have to pay like a insane amount of money for games like these. So I was very happy that I was able to jump on this one, and that I was able to add it to my GameCube collection. Because slowly getting there. With the full GameCube collection, slowly, not there at all. It's just a ton of games that you need to collect. But it's something that I kind of aim for, to some extent. And with that said, though, I know I mentioned a couple times that I was working on a GameCube video. Still am, but I'm gonna delete that video and I'm gonna redo that again like next year. It's so outdated. I recorded that maybe 2 or 3 months or so ago. I think 3 months. Things changed, and also my mindset about like going for a full GameCube collection changed. If you're waiting for the video, probably not. But now you know, like, I'm gonna redo that thing. It was also super long, man. It was 2 hours long. But yeah, those are the game pickups where I do have some gameplay footage for. And yeah, there are some other games and game related things that I've picked up that I do want to show. And yeah, let's start with that now. There are some other games that I've picked up and briefly want to show them and yeah, highlight some of them. The first is Dead Cells Return to Castlevania Edition. Really wanted to pick this one up now. Never had a chance to actually play the DLC. I own it on the PC, like digital, and I think also on the Switch, like the digital version. But again, never checked out this DLC. And this one, I don't see it appear that often anymore, like online, secondhand or new. So yeah, decided to pull the trigger and got this one. So very happy with it. Chances are, I think they even said that there is gonna be like more DLC and maybe another version like later on, but it being like the Castlevania version with this art, I was thinking, yeah, I kind of want to go for this one and don't care if there's more DLC. I just like Castlevania a ton, so really wanted to have this one in my Switch collection. Another one, this one is new, and also don't see this one pop up that often, and paid full price, like 45, and it's Cat Quest, the Fantastic Trilogy. So yeah, this one has like Cat Quest 1, 2, and 3. It's a trilogy. Yeah, I really wanted to pick this one up. The art style, man. The art style really stands out to me. I love the look of the Cat Quest games. Played the first one like briefly on a PC, but yeah, it feels more like a game that I want to play on the TV, like a big screen. And a nice thing with Cat Quest is that the second and the third one are playable like in co-op. It just seems like a very fun game to play, like kind of mindless. And again, like the art style, I really like the art style. It looks super awesome. Now this one, yeah, I think there's a reason why I picked up these Switch games, and especially like the Dead Cells one, because I just don't see them that often, and I have a feeling that they could become like more expensive like later on. They could become like cheaper first and then more expensive later on, but because I don't see them that often or see them for a high price, I decided to pick them up. And one of the games that I could see like become quite uncommon like in a couple of years is Volfaris. It is like a Contra-esque type of game, like run and gun, shooty bang bang. The art style, I like it, like the low poly aesthetic, kind of grim, or yeah, it has a look for sure. And the thing that I remember mostly is that on social media, like in the past, when it was in development, also when they were working on the prior game, I think it's also a very small team. It was always nice to see like the development of this game, and yeah, it's kind of cool that they succeeded in releasing like a physical version of this game. I think a new one is coming out or has come out like digitally, but that is more like a shoot 'em up, I guess. But yeah, Volfaris, I really don't see it that often. I passed it up maybe at the beginning of this year on Amazon, but because it was a French version, and then I was thinking, we'll pick it up later. But as time went by, I see it like less and less. I don't see it like really available anymore at new. Just in general stores on secondhand market. I do see it though. But because I did not see it like in stores, my thought is like it's probably not gonna get restocked and or reprinted, and yeah, that is why I wanted to pick it up as soon as possible, because I do like these type of games, and there are some other similar games on the Switch that I do like. Iron Meat is one of the recent examples of games that came out, and then we do have like Blazing Chrome and the Contra Collection. That's another one that I do want to pick up. But yeah, Volfaris, it's a unique looking game. It's sometimes when I see it, I'm like, I'm not sure, but when you see like all combined with the music and what it's trying to achieve. Like, I really understand why it has this art style and why it looks like this, if that makes any sense. It really reminds me of a game, and I'm sure not a ton of people know this title, but it really reminds me of Doom Troopers on the Super Nintendo. That one has like a look. Be sure to check it out if you can, like a video online. Doom Troopers, a fun game, but it has a look. It's unique, um, and I appreciate the uniqueness. Well, speaking of Contra type of games and visual art styles, I also picked up Contra Operation Kaluga. Um, yeah, for the PlayStation 5. It's very rare when I pick up a PlayStation 5 game. I do own some of them, but it's a rare occasion. But for Contra, I have a feeling this one is probably kind of uncommon, or is becoming like very like an uncommon title, because I also see it like being sold out in most of the stores at the moment, or for a higher price. And I was able to pick this one up like secondhand. Sadly, the box was damaged, but I was able to get from that store a replacement case, so that was very nice of them. Um, there is a Switch version. Kind of want to pick that one up, but in Europe there's only a Switch version that has like code in the box. So why would I deal with that? So kind of looking for importing it at some point, because I do want to own it on the Switch as well. But that version runs at like 30 FPS, and this one at 60. So I decided, let's just play this one first, see if it is actually fun. Then maybe move over to the Switch and sell this one maybe later, or keep it. But yeah, again, it's a rare title, or it's not a rare title. It's not even uncommon, because it is available like on the secondhand market. But every time when I pay attention to it and I'm searching for it, I see it less and less. And I see it being sold out like at most of the stores right now. So, yeah, I don't know. I have a feeling about this one. This is not me saying like, hey, go out there and pick this one up, because if you want to play it, like, purchase it. But yeah, Contra, I like Contra. Kind of want to check this one out. But this art style, it has not grown on me yet. But that is just because I like Contra 3 a ton. I really like that art style, and this one, it kind of feels empty, like here and there. Yeah, I'm not sure. I need to play it. That's why I purchased it. I need to play it and experience it. But it seems like a fun time if you maybe ignore the Contra bit and ignore that Contra 3 exists. Well, already shown this one. Very exciting game pickup. Another one is Shenmue 1 and 2. I am a proud owner of the Kickstarter edition of Shenmue 3. It's still sealed, never bothered to actually play it. But yeah, I do have fond memories of Shenmue 1. Played that one on the Dreamcast. I finished it on the Dreamcast, but I kind of want to replay it again. And I never had a chance to actually check out like Shenmue 2. So yeah, decided to pick this one up for the PlayStation 4. Not that expensive. Paid around like 12 for this one, I think. And yeah, kind of wanted to check it out. And at some point, I will play it at some point. It's not my focus at the moment, but it's also not a weird title for the PlayStation 4. Don't see it that often, and I could see it become also uncommon. Now, I hope the takeaway with this and me mentioning, hey, these are uncommons, or I don't see them often, that I'm saying like, hey, go out there and buy them. But it's just from my experience, like, these are on my list and games that I wanted to add, and sometimes I would just go over the list like, oh, what do I want to purchase? Do I see like a good deal? And again, for these games, I kind of postpone like purchasing them, but now because I postpone it like every now and then, I check it out again, and I just see them less and less, and that kind of makes me like, maybe now is the time to actually purchase it, because I don't want to deal with like higher prices, and with some of these games like, hey, Shenmue, it might go down, but if I'm able to pick it up for 12 in a good state, I'm like, yeah, let's just jump on this one, because it might go a little bit cheaper. That's fine, but maybe like 8 or so, it felt like, hey, now's the time. Yeah. Well, those are games that I've picked up, but yeah, have not really played, yeah, except for Dead Cells. But I've played like Dead Cells a ton, like when it came out. But the other ones I still need to check out and actually play. Played like half an hour of Valfares. But there are some games that I've been playing recently, and more than like half an hour, and I do want to highlight them and go over briefly like what my experience is. Um, it is somewhat fascinating, like the stuff that I'm currently playing. I played similar games like in the past, but kind of checking them out again to see like, hey, is now the time to go back into RPGs, JRPGs, or more like action RPGs, and yeah, kind of feeling like it. Maybe because I just want to have like a decent like game session instead of like playing in a game for like an hour and then go with it, or do something else. And these games kind of force me to have like maybe a longer session. The first one is Ys Origin. I saw it mentioned like here and there that this one is pretty fun. Never checked out an Ys game, but yeah, really wanted to check it out for once, because I saw a PlayStation 2 version a while ago, but I wasn't sure if Ys is something for me. It's always a series that I see, and I think I could probably enjoy this, like RPG, but it leans more in action. It is not really complex. It just seems like a very fun and mindless time, but still, yeah, like leveling up, progress. You got new skills. You need to find like items. At least in this one, there's like a tower that you kind of need to climb, but every time, like every stage is somewhat simplistic. There are just a couple enemies, and then within like half an hour or an hour, you are already at a boss. I kind of like that. It doesn't feel like, oh, I'm spending like 30 hours and then finally see something. No, it is very quickly. I played like 4 hours of this game so far and feel like I'm maybe halfway through the game. I'm not sure if that is actually true. But I kind of enjoy that. The action is just very simple and fun, and yeah, like leveling up. It all feels kind of nice. So that's Ys Origin. The visual style, though, I kind of like it, but at some points it kind of also stands out like, it's somewhat outdated, because it is, I think, a remake or like a remaster. But yeah, enjoy it. And I enjoyed it to such an extent that it makes me, or made me kind of look out for other Ys games or similar type of games. So it is doing its job. Like I am enjoying myself. I'm very happy with this purchase. And it's also not that expensive, around like 20 or 25 or so at the moment. Now, there's another game that I purchased and have been playing this week, and that's Trials of Mana. Now, I believe this one came out like in 2021, maybe? It's a little bit like on the older side. I think it's older than Ys Origin. Don't know much about this one. Of course, I know the other Mana games. I do own like Secret of Mana on the Super Nintendo. That's a very fun game to play. Never finished it though, but I also always like seeing the art style. But when I was checking like Ys, somehow I think I was recommended like a video of this one, or this one popped up in one of those conversations like, hey, check this one out as well. It is a fun game. I like it, but also that's due to the fact like the active combat, like the progression system, just like leveling up, buying new items, very simplistic. Um, it is a nice looking game to some extent. I like how colorful and vibrant it is. There are some games that kind of stand out to me though. With ease, I don't mind like how quickly it goes, like after an hour or maybe 45 minutes you see a boss. But with this one, it feels odd. And when I'm playing it, it really feels like it is a remaster or a remake of the third game, if I'm correct. And you really see the design of like the Super Nintendo game translated into like a 3D environment. And I'm not sure what I'm getting at, but you kind of see it, and it's very simplistic in some occasions. Is there like a scenario that it could actually describe? Like it moves quickly. Sometimes you go like a new town, and something is happening in a town, and it's like there's a town that's being taken over by Beastman or something like that. And then you think like, oh, I'm gonna fight those, and then it's like, no, avoid them, and then you go there. Then you have a quick conversation, and then suddenly it's like, oh, we need to go over to that place. But I'm like, oh, we just got here, and then it quickly sends you to a new place, and like a new place, and then you need to do something over there again. But then it quickly so I really have like a difficulty explaining this, but it moves around like super quickly, and sometimes it's like, where am I right now? Because sometimes it has a tendency to transport you to, let's go back a couple of steps. Like you got a town with the beastmen, then you need to go into a cave, and then suddenly you stumble upon those beastmen again. Then they hit you, you fall down like a pit, and then like there's a cutscene, and then suddenly you end up in a jail, but they don't really tell anything about like why you ended up in the jail again, because you fell down a pit. I'm like, what happened? So I think a couple of things got maybe lost in the translation, but that kind of makes me want to check out the original game, because I do believe that one is playable on the Collection of Mana on the Switch, or maybe on the PlayStation 4 as well. There's a Switch version of this game. But yeah, it moves around like rather quickly. So that kind of stood out to me, or really I'm able to ignore that, because I think the gameplay is super fun. There's another thing that really stands out to me, and that's that's like the animations. It feels like you're watching like puppets move around, because the animations are super fluid, and they don't really fit like the art style, and the animations also don't really fit like what's happening like in cutscenes. Like the animations in combat all looks good, but the animations in like cutscenes, like they just move around like a ton. It really stands out and doesn't look that nice. Small things, but they when I saw them, I'm like, not the best. Anyway, I do enjoy the gameplay, and kind of want to get back into it again, like today. The voice overs, like the English, are like decent enough. Again, the story is not that great. Oh, we're almost done with the game pickups. Kind of almost forgot about this one, but I'm very happy that I was finally able to get this one. And it is not a game pickup. It is the Memcard Pro for the GameCube. And this one, I had a pre-order standing out, or an order standing out for like maybe half a year or so, or a couple of months. It felt like an eternity, but really wanted to pick this one up, because this year I picked up another one for the PlayStation 2 as well, and these things are actually fantastic. So it is a memory card for the GameCube, and there's a micro SD slot in here, And now I'm finally able to actually save my games again for the GameCube because, man, the memory cards for the GameCube, they don't hold like a ton of like data. And that's the thing that I really experienced like with the collecting, and especially this year also for the PlayStation 2, that memory cards fill up like rather quickly, and I'm not gonna purchase like new memory cards every now and then, or delete save files again. So that's why I purchased one for the PlayStation 2, but the GameCube, that one wasn't really not available. So yeah, this one, whenever you just boot up a game and you save your game, it makes a new memory card specifically for that game. So you're not dealing with switching out like the mem cards. And one thing that I noticed with the GameCube is that I do own one of those like 1024 blocks ones and another 265 one, like the black one. But one of the memory cards that I own for the GameCube got kind of corrupted. Like sometimes it doesn't want to save, or you can't even load a save file. So yeah, very happy with this one. Really helps out when you do have like a ton of like GameCube games, and well, when you check it out and want to play like different games like now and then. Yeah, it's very nice, and there was a good reason to pick this one up again because yeah, I'm not sure what the deal is with memory cards for the GameCube, but yeah, getting errors and files getting corrupted, that's not a fun thing to experience. So yeah, I got this one now. Also purchased this one for another reason, is that next year or so, yeah, hopefully beginning next year, I will get like the floppy drive for the GameCube, and that enables me to mod it and make it so that I'm able to play games not from the disc anymore. So I can put on the images on the GameCube itself and then play them from there with something that's called like Switch, I guess. And yeah, this one works, I think, well, nice with that one. So I get like a very nice GameCube that has like most of the games that I want to play on it. It's something that I have for PlayStation 2 as well. So yeah, I'm just very happy with this one. It's a small little thing. It is expensive though, but yeah, I had to purchase a new memory card anyway, and didn't want to buy one secondhand. So yeah, very happy that this was finally like available from a German game store. So quite a few pickups. I think this is a long video already. My apologies, I guess. Some gameplay footage like here and there, some quick game pickups, games that I've been playing these days. Is there anything else that I want to talk about? No, not really. It is Saturday, so I'm gonna edit this video and put it up as soon as possible so that you can actually enjoy it. I'm not sure why the camera is trying to focus on the mic. It's always a fun experience. Why are you doing that? We're just gonna sit it like here. But yeah, that's gonna do it. Next week, there's gonna be another. Is next week New Year's Eve? No, it's not. Time flew by, man. In my mind, it's still like the beginning of December, but it's not. It's already like at the end of December. But yeah, I got a couple 360 games. I will try my best to show those next week. There's a heavy hitter though, or is there a heavy hitter? It was one of those games that was on my list that I really wanted to add to my 360 collection, but I'm feeling I'm almost done with the 360. Almost done. Like there are really not that many games anymore that I want to add to my Xbox 360 collection. Maybe it would be nice to go over some of the games that I'm still looking for that are, I think, getting quite rare. But with that said, have a nice day all, have a good weekend, enjoy the holidays, and yeah, see you all later.